Today's video is going to be around creating batches for your inventory products, how to set them up and how to track them. But first things first, we're going to jump into our utilities, preferences, and jump into the inventory tab here. And the main thing we're going to look at here is setting this batch allocation to either automatic or manual. Today we're going to set it at manual just so that we can show you how everything works in the background. Otherwise, if it was set to automatic, which we recommend you do, this will automatically do your batch allocations for you. It'll always select the oldest transaction, so it'll treat the oldest transaction batch first before the new ones. So if you want to go ahead and set this to automatic, we recommend you do so, but today we're just going to leave it as manual just to show you the process steps involved with this. Go ahead and hit save, and we are now going to jump into our inventory and we're going to look at a product that we created. So we just created a simple batch product. You can this can be any product that you want. We've just selected this and called it batch product just for tracking purposes. So the main thing we're going to look at here is in the batch and bin tab, and this is going to show you everything related around this product, if it's in any batches or bins. This is going to be the batch numbers that some of the product is allocated to, in stock quantity, available, what's on sales order. As well as that, we are going to select this selection on sale to manually as a pop-up dialog. So whenever we do a transaction, whether it's a sales order or a purchase order, this is going to manually pop up for us so we can select our batches. Our batch tracking has been ticked, it's on, and we can go ahead and do a purchase order for this product now. So once that's done, we're going to go ahead and save, and we're going to bring some of that product in now. Go into purchases, do a quick purchase order, so Coles, and we're going to bring in some of that batch product now. Say order 100 of those, and we're going to receive 100 of those now. So on receiving them, this allocate batches dialog pop-up will now open. This is what we just selected within the product card for this to pop up. So we can see now that purchase order 194 has now allocated a batch number for the quantity of this product being 100. We can put an expiry date on that, so whether or not it's going to expire or not, you can do that, and go ahead and save. So this product has now been ordered and received, and it has been allocated to a batch. So once that's done, purchase order 194, we can give a supply invoice. This is vitally important when doing that. Invoice number, and we'll say an invoice date, and save. So now once that's saved, we can now go into our inventory tab and click on our batches button here. This is going to open up a batches card, and you can see what kind of purchase orders, sales orders has come in, and what's gone on. We can see here and the information that makes up this batch. So that purchase order we just did now with the supply invoice number, those products have been received and they are now showing within the batches tab. So whether or not you've got available stock, you can view what's available, you can view the stock that's coming in. There's that purchase order we just did and its relative batch number. We can see what stock's gone out and what's on sales order, if any. We're going to go ahead and keep all and go ahead and close back out of that. Our next step is we're going to look at what happens when we go and sell some of that product. So let's go do a sale quickly. We'll do a basic sales order. So to ARG. And we're going to add some of that batch product. There we go. And we are now going to sell some of those items and allocate those. Once we have selected this now, by pushing F9, that will get the available allocations for us. So we can see if we push F9, that'll open up the different allocations that we can use for this product. So we can see we want to allocate 50. We can see the quantities in all these different batches, so this batch number and the available quantity in that batch, whether or not it has an expiry date or not. You can select whichever batch you choose, but let's take one that has less than enough. So we'll go ahead and save that. Go ahead and save. It will only allocate now 11 to that product, but we would like to allocate the full amount. So once that's opened up, we are now going to allocate the say this batch number here, purchase order 193. Save that, and it will then add the remainder to allow the whole amount, being 50, to allocate to the batches. Otherwise it will just allocate the it would have allocated the 11, but now that we added that other batch with the 100 available, it'll now take the remainder of that 50, being 39, so that all of these products can be allocated evenly. So we're going to go ahead and save that batch product and go ahead and save. Making more fold. What we can do now is we can drill back from a sales order to see what work we've done with those items. So if we look in here, we can see there's the sales order we just did with the quantity. Double click again and it will take you back to the allocations or the bins, the batches that make that up. So we can see what's been allocated to this batch, how many, and what's been allocated to this batch, that many, with an expiry date as well as that. As well as that, we can jump back into inventory and go into batches. Hit refresh and we can see the sales order we just did now. Double click and there we go. There's that sales order 558. We can add some notes if we choose so. When we did the sales order, we could have added some notes, and again double click from here and it will take you back to those allocations that made that up, and you can see where your product's going from there. The last thing we can look at, we can also view stock coming in, stock going out, and what's on sales order, so we can view that. So the last thing we're going to look at is back in our product, back in our batch product within the product card, and we can go back and view those batch and bins. We can see what's gone on, what different batch numbers have been created, what stock, what quantity of stock has come in, what's available, and again what's on sales order for those products. There's the 39 and there's the 11 that we just did. So a huge amount of information here on tracking and viewing what's going on with your products and their relative batches. So there you are. That's how you create your batches, how to set them up and how to track them. Thanks for watching.